You are about to enter a space of ultimate football knowledge. From four guys with little to no actual football experience, except for armchair quarterbacking. Brace yourself for passion and knowledge like you have never seen. Welcome to the Football is King podcast. Hello and welcome into the show. We are here to talk everything NFL Week 5. The no fun league, if you will.
Zero fun, so.
If you point with a finger gun for a first down, you will get a 15-yard penalty. And if you try to do assassination in the back of someone's head, they probably just kick you out of the league, I assume, forever.
How massive would that fine be in the NFL?
I don't know, man. The thing that still blows my mind is that the competition committee just secretly fines players on like Monday morning. They go through every play and be like, "Oh, you lowered your head. There's 42,000." I saw some random rookie got fined 42,000 like 500 or something, which was more than his game check. So he literally lost money playing in the NFL, which is just ridiculous.
He lowered his head.
But he didn't even lower his head that bad. But he was carrying the ball, and yeah, he does kind of dip his head, and then they're like, "Oh, there goes your game check. You owe us money now."
They need to get rid of that.
Yeah, it's dumb. All right, but it was a good weekend of football in general. If you missed it, we talked all things college football and the just crazy chaos that went with that. But today we will be talking about the NFL, which also had some upsets and some surprises and some really bad coaching decisions that we will talk about. So we're going to get right to it. We got to go back in time, though, to last Thursday, where started off the NFL season with the NFL week with an absolute banger between the Bucs and the Falcons on Thursday Night Football. Congrats to Amazon for getting their first good Thursday Night Football game.
Great game.
He ruined Matt Ryan night.
Goes to overtime. Falcons get a win against the Bucs. Kirk Cousins throws for over 500 yards.
Ruined Matt Ryan night.
Oh, yeah, it was Matt Ryan night, and Kirk Cousins did break his record, which is hilarious.
Threw the ball 60 times, just about.
Yeah, threw the ball a lot. I think that this game actually is closer than it should have been. I think if you look at it, the Falcons actually absolutely dominate that game and should have won by more. It should not have gone to overtime, but that's life.
I tend to agree, but Tampa this season is just finding ways to be in football games.
Tampa's offense looks fluid and good. Baker looks competent. I really like their running back. Not Rashad White, which Rashad White is great. I love Bucky Irving. That dude makes everybody miss. He's very elusive, and he started to get the ball more. That's fine. I think Cade Otton is a decent tight end. Obviously, on this podcast, we will sing Mike Evans' praise for forever. Mike Evans is...
Is he going to go down as like a top 5 wide receiver of all time?
He won't. He should.
He should.
Statistically, he won't. He just doesn't – he doesn't have the flair. That's his problem. He does –
I wonder if like most wide receivers that are like as good as him, they all have a little attitude.
Well, and they're
maybe it's the fact that he plays for Tampa.
Yeah. I think right now, like you asked people who was a better wide receiver in their prime, I think everyone right now would say Justin Jefferson, which I disagree with.
Mike has just done it his whole career.
I'm just saying he's not
so consistent.
I agree with all of that. But people wouldn't say that because he's not the social media wide receiver.
Yeah, he doesn't give you headlines.
He doesn't give you headlines or the clips or whatever.
Tweets.
Even though he scores a lot of like 50-yard plus touchdowns. Like he's a deep threat as well. He's also huge in the red zone because he's a massive human being.
He's a massive human being.
I feel like part of it's Tampa's not been a great team other than when they had Tom Brady.
Tampa's not been great, but then that's even better. Like, I mean, he
Yeah,
got
I mean
Jameis Winston to 30 touchdowns and
Yeah,
30 interceptions.
he was great for Jameis. Like, you know how
He's
good you have to be to like make Jameis Winston look good.
Or how bad you have to be to make Jameis Winston look good. The Deshaun Watson corollary right now. Everyone thinks that Jameis Winston is amazing because Deshaun is that bad.
Yeah,
But yeah, that game was good. It was a good Thursday night game. We don't get
exciting.
those very often.
No,
I think this week we are not going to get one of those.
no, Seattle and
And the 49ers, it's
yeah,
on paper, everyone's like, it's going to be great, but it won't.
that's two teams I don't care to watch.
No, the Seahawks were frisky at first, but they're so injured that it's just.
I will watch it, but
I mean, yeah, I will tune into the game, but it's less exciting. All right. Our other primetime games. Okay, we got a London game this week. You want to talk about not exciting football games? Wow, good timing. That right there is a good introduction. The game was so bad that ESPN had to drop the news later that day that Robert Saleh was fired.
escorted out of the building by security.
I gotta
Yeah,
imagine that's like normal protocol after you fire somebody, though.
that is true. I assume.
You
I
would assume
am a little bit bummed because I was really hoping that we were going to be able to make the joke that they left him in London, but
that would be wild,
they
dude.
made sure to let us know that he made it back from London, and that's a
Has
bummer.
anyone left someone on the tarmac since Lane Kiffin at USC?
I don't know, not that I know of.
I don't think anyone has. I think he's the only coach that has been left somewhere.
He deserved it.
Yeah, I do
Law
think
probably deserved it too.
I think Robert Saleh did deserve to be fired. I think this is also the right time to do it. I know that not everyone on this podcast agrees, according to our group chat today, but also he's not on this episode because he is feeling under the weather.
Kind of
I
indifferent in this
The
situation.
AFC East is just so open right now. Everyone looks so bad that if you can get something together, like you
it,
could win your division.
they should have got rid of him over the summer.
Yeah,
The Bills.
I agree. They made the mistake um, by keeping him for this season. But a very huge principle in chess is don't make a second mistake because of the first mistake. And so they have now realized that keeping Bob Saleh was not the right idea. So you should just fire him instantly. There was
Did you
no
see
future.
the report that he was apparently going to fire Nathaniel Hackett? So
I
I
mean,
wonder if they
they should
caught wind
also
he
do
was gonna.
that.
They should, but Aaron Rodgers loves Nathaniel Hackett,
Yeah.
so it's
But
almost like they
but
caught
does
wind of
he?
this.
There's been a lot of little fighting on the field, like the viral video from this weekend where Aaron Rodgers was telling Hackett get the play in, get the play in, and he was getting frustrated. So maybe
Supposedly, supposedly they like each other.
supposedly they like each other, but I mean, who would have ever heard of Aaron Rodgers falling out with someone that he likes?
Yeah, that'd be unknown.
Here's my question: why does the NFL always do the interim head coach thing?
I kind of was thinking the same day. I'm like, if there's a lot of good coaches out there that are
Mike
just sitting
Vrabel
home.
is sitting there.
Yeah, I would go hire Vrabel.
Like Vrabel would be perfect. You would keep the defense good because their defense is all right. It's not the best, but it's decent.
Yeah.
You would keep that defense playing good football, and all you got to do is fix the offense.
And if you hire Vrabel, like he walks in the door, and it's like you might actually have like a little bit of a culture change, which is kind of what you need, I think.
Yeah.
With
I mean,
term, it's
culture
the same
change. You
group.
go with Big Cat's tweet. You gotta just bring Coach O in. Get a culture
Greatest
change.
interim coach ever.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think they should go ahead and hire Vrabel. And
I mean,
get
I
rid
would
of
be pulling the trigger on Vrabel immediately.
Yeah, I don't understand how he's not a coach somewhere.
Everybody said from that locker room that Salah wasn't a leader. All of his like coaches that have left and stuff have all just been like he's terrible. The players have said that he's not a good leader. Like that's what they just need, a guy to go in You don't need Vrabel to be calling plays or anything. You just need him to be the head coach. I
Yeah,
don't really know what Robert Saleh actually did.
not a whole lot apparently.
He doesn't call any of the plays, and he's not good at timeouts
It's
or
just
challenges
yeah, it's
or
management. That's
game
all it
plan
is.
or
You just need to be
practice.
a manager.
It doesn't seem like his players particularly like him too much.
He's not likable, so I think it was the right idea by the Jets. All right, other things. You know that you got a bad coach, and this is how you get fired. When you have a 41-year-old quarterback and you make him throw the ball 54 times, and who would have guessed that that looked terrible? Rodgers looked awful
Yeah,
2 weeks in a row.
Is Rogers done?
I mean, he's 41.
I
And he's
think I think he
Achilles.
I think depending on how this season goes and which of his buddies would come play for the Jets next year, if they don't make the playoffs and everyone just says, "Hey man, we're not coming to the Jets, it's a dumpster fire," he'll retire.
I mean, he missed his opportunity this year. He could have been a VP candidate for president. Like, should have stuck with that.
The
That
other the other weird part for Rogers is I feel like he's like all time guy like that if things start going bad, then he does not make it better.
No,
no,
he gives up
Yeah, he
on
gives up.
every play and every team. That kind of brought me to my second point about Aaron Rodgers. He has a QBR of 5 against the blitz.
Well, that's not very good.
If you bring a blitz, he just throws it up randomly, which is how that game ends.
yeah,
The defense actually completely shuts down the Vikings in the second half. Once Aaron Jones got hurt, the Vikings offense did not exist anymore. They come back from like 17 points down or whatever it is. But that last drive, every single throw, he would just catch it and throw a fade immediately. Like it was just, he didn't even try. And I mean, Stephon Gilmore makes a good play, but it's a terrible throw.
I get this feeling too that like no matter who's the coach, whoever the coach is, Aaron Rodgers is going to do whatever he wants to do. So
Yes, Aaron Rodgers is probably the least coachable player since Deion Sanders.
yeah,
he's the LeBron James of the NFL. He's
He
in
is
his,
the
he
LeBron
was in,
James in the attitude, but he's not the LeBron James in the
in the
the
great,
winning.
the winning.
well, I think that I will say I think that he is one of the most talented players. I still think that Aaron Rodgers is one of the best people to ever throw the football.
Yeah,
He is just one of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time. He's incredible arm talent, incredible arm strength, good at extending the play. But football's not as much of a sport where one guy can just carry you like basketball
yeah.
is.
And he doesn't strike like it feels like he's missing something that like Tom Brady had where like Tom was going to make sure you win.
Yeah,
I feel
Tom
like
was a great teammate.
I feel like Aaron has maybe even more like skill than Tom, but he doesn't have the
I think the
other
big
half.
thing,
He
the
doesn't have
difference
that
is,
drive.
I think the difference is players would have died on the field for Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I don't feel like Aaron Rodgers.
Like none of the
they loved
teammates,
Tom Brady. I
everybody
don't
loved
think
Tom
they
Brady.
love Aaron Rodgers.
No, his buddies love him. He's the Adam Sandler of the NFL.
Oh,
He brings his
100%.
buddies along, but everybody else freaking hates him.
That's what it seems like to me too. And I hate watching the Jets on TV. It's terrible TV.
Yeah, the Jets are terrible TV. Um, I do think that Aaron Rodgers is the last of, I call them the statue quarterbacks. Like he's the last guy that just purely is going to sit in the pocket right now. Like the NFL has officially proved like, sorry, no, Joe Flacco also, even though Joe Flacco was moving this weekend. But the NFL is proving that the statue quarterback is going extinct. You've got to at least have some mobility.
You have to be able to move to extend plays a little.
Yeah, but you also like it's more than just the extending of the plays. You have to be willing to run the ball.
Yeah,
Like
I still don't like that.
I understand. I'm not saying like a quarterback designed run, but like I think it's more of how many times do you see quarterbacks
Like
escape the
Josh
pocket?
Allen run.
Yeah, I'm not saying they have to be Josh Allen run. I'm saying how many times do you see quarterbacks escape the pocket and they could easily get the first down, but they throw the ball and then it's incomplete. They throw it like into like a hard throw. And that is what quarterbacks everyone used to do. No
Yeah.
quarterbacks unless like they had no option. We're going to cross that line of scrimmage because they always thought that it was better. Now, you need to have your quarterback that's willing to scramble 4 or 5 times a game.
Like go get me the first down and then slide.
I'm not saying take a hit. I'm not saying Jalen
Don't
Hurts or Lamar Jackson, we're running them 15 times a
yeah.
game. I'm
Don't be
saying
Baker Mayfield. Take the slide.
yeah, you need your quarterback that to do like Mahomes in the playoffs. Hey, we need this first down, so I've got 100% chance of getting the first down if I run it, or a 70% chance if I throw it. I'm gonna 100% take the first.
I think an Achilles injury may be a bigger deal than Rodgers thought.
Yeah, and he got sacked. It was in the first or like first half or third quarter,
Yeah,
and he kind of grabbed at his knee.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
Then they immediately got an interception. He had to run back in there.
yeah, oh yes, that was funny. I think if I was a Jets fan or a Packers fan at the end, watching him would be the most infuriating thing ever because he gives up on plays when he has pressure and just throws it off the back foot, a little Hail Mary ball, and that just drives me nuts.
He never looks like he's never mad at himself. He's always mad at somebody else.
Yeah, he's a bit of a whiner. He's an easy guy to hate.
Yeah. I've
And
never
you know
really been
what? We need those. We need heels.
I've never really been a hater of him until this year. I'm kind of annoyed by him now.
Yeah. That's
Well, I
fair.
think what's the Batman quote?
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I think Aaron Rodgers has become the villain.
Yeah, but he's been a villain for forever.
No, I know, but I think he just out he at some point I understand these guys want to play forever. I get it. But like at some point you have to look around and go, am I playing my best football or is my heyday behind me and do I need to hang it up? Like
He
is it time
also
for me to walk away?
Yeah, I get it. And he also has that ability, just like Deshaun Watson, that he pisses everybody off
Yes.
in very different ways. I would like to clarify that Aaron Rodgers is
Yes.
not accused
Not
of
Deshaun
sexual
Watson.
assault. But
Other than being an actual
Allegedly.
actor, which maybe
but
in some ways makes you a
he
criminal.
pisses off all the liberals based off of his politics. He pisses off a bunch of the football guys based off of just either he used to dominate your team or he's just kind of a whiny person on the field, and a lot of football guys don't like that. He pisses off his family by not talking to them. I mean, just like he's great at making everybody. He even now has the Jets fans that don't like him.
Yeah. And they were so pumped when he
Oh,
came.
Mike Greenberg is hilarious to watch on Get Up. The dude has officially lost his mind. It's great.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be the first to say I wanted him to come to the Raiders when he was shopping himself, but I'm happy that didn't happen. We suck.
Well, I wouldn't be
We should've
that
played it.
excited. I was like, your quarterback play is still pretty terrible. You
No,
could
we
take Aaron
suck.
Rodgers.
So what's the point? What's the
That's
point?
fair. Look at that. We already
Blow it
broke
all up.
Jonathan. It only took
We'll
6 weeks
get
this week.
there. But
Only took 5 games this year to break Jonathan. Good job,
We'll
Raiders.
get to the Raiders when we
Yeah,
talk
that's
about it.
that's later. All right. Other primetime games that we can just fly through. Sunday Night Football was also ugly. It was a rain delay. I think it kicked off at 9:45 Eastern.
I didn't even watch it.
Game went till 1 in the morning.
Oh yeah, I was up till 2 o'clock watching that game. Cowboys stink.
I fell
Cowboys
asleep
stink,
waiting
but
for it
win.
to start.
They're gonna be like a 8 or 9-8 or 8.
Yeah, they're pretty average, middle of the park. The sad thing is Dak Prescott actually played really well until he decided to turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Like he played actually pretty decent and then turned the ball over.
But the
Two
thing
in the
is,
red zone.
the worst part of it is the Steelers who literally can't score and they were still in that game the entire time.
I was gonna say yeah, the defense actually played well for the Cowboys. They didn't get run all over like I thought they would. Um, the big takeaway that I had from this game is I hope Michael Parsons was watching the game.
Were they better without him?
No, but if you watch that game, if you want to get paid TJ Watt money, that's what it looks like when TJ Watt's on the field.
You better be TJ Watt.
Like, it doesn't matter who they play, TJ Watt produces every week.
Oh yeah, and Parsons, he's got a one track mind. He is only going after sacks.
Yeah, he's not playing the run.
No, he does not play the run. He's just going after sacks.
Yeah.
So he looks like a dummy a lot of times because he just doesn't play the run. TJ Watt is a freaking menace.
TJ Watt is probably going to go down as the second best defensive end of all time.
And the worst part is he's wasting away on the Steelers team that's terrible.
What was Reggie White a defensive end or he's a defensive end, right? He wasn't a tackle. I think that's the one that's going to be up for debate was TJ Watt better than or worse than Reggie White? I think Lawrence Taylor's still number
He's a
one.
defensive end.
Yeah, I think LT is still number one in my book.
TJ Watt's just like a game wrecker. There's gonna be a turnover because of something he does.
I think he got his 100th sack. I think was 100th sack. He's gonna break the sack record, I think. One of these years, he's so close every year.
Hasn't he never won Defensive Player of the Year?
He has not won Defensive Player of the Year, and he's up against it this year. Xavier McKinney has 5 picks in 5 games.
Yeah.
Like, if Xavier McKinney gets 17 picks in a season, you can't.
No, it has to go to him.
It has to go to him.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like he's always 1 or like 1.5 sacks away from breaking the sack record every year and just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, we are now in a 17-game season instead of a 16-game season. So I need him, like, if he's going to beat it, I need him to crush it so that there's no asterisk needed there.
The crazy part is, too, like, he gets double teamed. He's not running on his own.
No, he gets chipped. He does all this stuff. I mean, a lot of it is also been he usually has a pretty good defensive end on the other side as well that, like, is not double teamed because they're doubling TJ, and so he gets a lot of those like second effort sacks.
Yeah, he does.
He obviously gets a ton of great sacks as well, but like he does get a lot of just like the hustle sacks, which is important. But a lot of it is like the other guy just runs right into him.
He has like a couple plays a game where he just literally bull rushes the tackle and just pushes him 10 yards backwards.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch. Yeah, that was that. The Steelers are on a bit of a slide after starting 3-0. They are now 3-2 on a 2-game losing streak. And they have a tough game, I think, this weekend as well. They play at the Raiders. So maybe it's not that tough of a game. But I just they can't score. Like, I think we're getting to the point where maybe it's time for Russell Wilson to play quarterback.
They said he should suit out this week, apparently.
If they had a quarterback, the Steelers could be so good.
I think you at least have to throw Wilson in there for a little bit just to see what happens. Because, I mean, Justin Fields has played okay, but they're not scoring.
He can't throw.
Yeah.
He can't throw. It was the same thing when he played for the Bears. If they get in positions where they have to throw the ball, he's not good enough.
No, yeah, I think they need to give it up.
All right, and our last of our primetime games was Monday Night Football. Saints versus Chiefs. Honestly, this game wasn't a good watch either. It was technically close because the Chiefs just decided to let the Saints hang around. This was kind of a butt kicking if you look at the stats. But yet it was a 1-score game late in the third quarter.
Just because that interception. I mean, it's just the interception.
Because the Chiefs kick field goals when they get in the red zone. They decided to pull a Pete Carroll and throw the slant on the 1 yard line when they're running the ball for 6 yards a carry.
Was that
Kareem
Juju
Hunt's
that dropped that?
it wasn't a great throw. It's a little bit behind him, but yes, I am on team. Juju should catch that ball.
It
Juju
was
drops
great
it.
timing. It was great timing for that guy to get that pick.
Yeah,
Right after they did the whole package about his brother.
Yeah, Kalen Saunders gets the pick because he made a great play the play before on the Travis Kelce pitch play.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's second and goal from the 1 yard line. Andy, can we just run the ball up the freaking middle
He tries
and
to get too
score the
cute.
touch? He gets too cute. He does the RPO slant. Juju drops it. Kalen Saunders picks it. And then I saw something today on the internet that made me laugh. And I also think it's true. I think that on that play, Kalen Saunders runs faster than Najee Harris.
That's possible. He was booking it.
He's quick.
Yeah. For a big dude.
I mean, and he's quick and he was round.
Yeah.
He's a round fella. But it was fun to watch. I mean, that play. The rest of the game really wasn't a super great watch. I think the Chiefs moved the ball into the red zone like 6 or 7 times.
Saints
Like this, yeah, it was a buck. Derek Carr was doing the same thing that Aaron Rodgers did. If he felt any pressure, he just threw the ball up.
What? Like the first 2 weeks of the season, their offense was unbelievable, and it just died.
Their offensive line dominated the first 2 weeks, and they are not dominating anymore.
No, they're bad.
And also, just there was something about that Cowboys defense that game where they just looked terrible. Rashid Shaheed's still getting awesome 70-yard touchdowns, which is great. And
I think the bigger side of that game for me was just the Saints are not good.
Yeah, I took away from that. Saints are not good. I do think that the Chiefs offense is reverting to what they did last year, where they have no superstars and we're just going to take what the defense gives us, which is like how the Patriots won 7 Super Bowls. So, or 6 Super Bowls. So it's a good strategy. Juju was wide open all night, so we gave him the ball. He's got 130 yards. Travis Kelce for the nice 5-yard routes, and then he gets some yards after the catch, was wide open. Throw him the ball.
Another lateral play.
Another lateral play, which was cool. Xavier Worthy, I think, took a little bit of a step up as a wide receiver, which was needed. Kareem Hunt, the Chiefs 3 interior linemen. I think it's really hard to find 2 guards and a center that play better than the Chiefs interior linemen. The tackles need work. But if the Chiefs decide to run the ball up the middle, they just blow people off the ball. Creed Humphreys is a grown man.
Scary man.
And I wish we would just give the ball inside the red zone to our running backs more often. We would probably score more touchdowns.
Andy tries to get a little cute sometimes. And it actually was it was a good play. Just dumb draw.
Yeah, it was technically open, but it's one of those things, and we'll talk about this more later when we talk about coaching decisions, but this is a good example. When you're on the 1 yard line, if you have an 80% chance of scoring by running the ball, if you throw the ball, your odds are 50-50. Because if you don't catch it, there's lots of reasons why if the ball hits the ground, then it's not complete, or you take it I don't know. There's just so many extra factors.
Plus, you have
when you throw that ball,
a small area when you're that close to the end.
Yeah. And I understand sometimes you can't just run it right up the middle because teams have that stopped, and sometimes you got to get creative with your run play. Like later, the Chiefs run Travis Kelce as the quarterback, Xavier Worthy read option play, but it's still a run play that works.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think at the goal line, the read option is just undefendable.
Yeah, you do. You do leave some dumb stuff can happen, but
yes, but it's so hard to defend the interior when you're on the 1 yard line that everyone's stacked in there that if you just leave your edge rusher and if your quarterback or whoever has the ball can read that properly, there's a good chance that they have the advantage to the goal line.
Yeah, you just got to outrun them.
All right, let's get into the noon games because the witching hour of the noon slate was nuts. There's only one place to start, and that's with the Ravens-Bengals game. And I'm going to say some offensive things to the Bengals fans of the world. So buckle up, Buttercups. The Bengals defense is terrible.
Yeah.
But also the Ravens secondary is also terrible.
Both defenses are a little suspect.
The Ravens have proved multiple times why they have the 30th best pass defense. And the Ravens play Washington this week. So I'm very intrigued to see how Jaden Daniels does against that secondary because I think
MVP
he can
watch.
really carve him up. All right. But the Bengals lose another game. And if you listen to all the talking heads and all the things, of course, it can't be Joe Burrow's fault. Because Joe Burrow put up great stats. And you know what the wise people in the NFL say? Stats are for freaking losers. Who cares about the stats? So, I will give Joe Burrow these two things. Obviously, the Bengals defense is awful. But great quarterbacks have won with bad defenses before. Zach Taylor's play calling in overtime was atrocious.
I don't understand that at all at the
Could
end.
not have ran the ball 3 times. We've talked about this before on this episode, on this podcast as well. There's no such thing as a manageable field goal. You should always try to get closer. A 50-plus yard field goal, I understand that these kickers are amazing now, but the odds of making a 50-plus yard field goal is not an automatic thing. You got to get closer if you can.
Plus, like, you have Joe Burrow. If you think he's that good.
And Joe Burrow was absolutely fantastic in that game. Except, here's my hurtful take for the Bengals. And I will die on this hill. Joe Burrow, the difference between Mahomes, Burrow, Tom Brady's of the world. Joe Burrow is not a clutch quarterback, and he has proved it again and again and again. And no one seems to talk about it. Once again, just like in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, Joe Burrow got the ball with the lead twice in the fourth quarter. The first time, he threw a pick, a very bad pick, that leads to the Ravens tying the game. Then he gets the ball with 1 minute and 35 seconds left. The game is tied. All he needs is a field goal. And what does he do? He does the same thing he does every time in the fourth quarter. He takes a terrible sack, and they don't get a first down. He is not good in the fourth quarter of football games. He has a record of it now, and no one talks about it, and it pisses me off.
I'm starting to think old Zach Taylor may not be a great coach, too.
That's fair. Zach Taylor's not a great coach. Zach Taylor's not in charge there. He's calling the exact same plays besides the overtime. In the fourth quarter, Joe Burrow chokes the fourth quarter away. They have a 10-point lead, and Joe Burrow loses them that game.
Yeah. No, I agree.
He did the same thing in the AFC Championship game. They've got a lead. And both times he got the ball against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, he gets the ball and he goes 3 and out and punts, and the Chiefs go and score. And you know what Mahomes does when he gets the ball in the fourth quarter? He scores. Even Josh Allen a lot of the times scores.
Joe is something looks like it's not right.
He's a front runner. He's not good when the games are close. What did he do in the Super Bowl against the Rams when he had a chance to win the game? He takes a sack. He has a pattern.
Yeah. And something don't look right. I think we trust Joe Burrow because he made the Super Bowl one time. And, like, other than that, like...
We trust Joe Burrow because he looks cool on Instagram He does the weird haircuts. He throws the ball in slow motion when it's snowing outside. They call him Joe Burr or Joe Cool. You want to know why? Because he's cool in the fourth quarter. He doesn't get hot in the fourth quarter. That's why he should be called Joe Cool.
Also, you can't be doing all those outfits and stuff if you're losing.
Correct.
I think a lot of that he's running off of his hype coming out of the LSU season.
I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's just not
I'll poke him.
No, but
like
he wasn't doing that until the final game, the national title game when LSU won the national title.
yeah, he
He
doing the
wasn't he wasn't
cigars and the things
the
and
cigars and all the show shit. Like this was a simple kid from Ohio that went to Ohio State, didn't play, wasn't good, goes to LSU, wasn't great, then has the best season of all time, arguably.
I
For
still trust Joe Burrow. I just don't trust the Bengals.
I mean, I like Joe Burrow, and
I
currently
think
where
that
I'm
Joe
sitting, I'll
Burrow
take anyone. But
I think Joe Burrow is the best quarterback right now. Out of all the active quarterbacks, he's the best quarterback that you can have that won't win you a Super Bowl.
I don't know.
Got
Dak
close.
still exists.
No, but Joe Burrow is better than Dak.
Yeah, but I think Joe Burrow has a better chance at winning a Super Bowl than Dak.
I'm just saying, sorry, I will rephrase that. I think that Joe Burrow is currently the best NFL quarterback that is currently active that will not win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Okay, I
if
mean,
He
their
has a
defense looks
he
the way
has
it
a
does,
That's okay, but he's had the year they made the Super Bowl, his defense was incredible. Their defense got them to the Super Bowl. Their defense gave up 0 points in all of the second halves all the way through the Super Bowl. He's had his chance where he's had good defenses. He's always had superstar wide receivers since he's been in the league. Um, I think his thing is that he's kind of a choke artist.
he also everything looks a little difficult, like when they're playing.
Yeah, he does make things.
Something just doesn't look right.
I think he cares about the image too much or himself. I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it. But
caring about himself too much would make sense.
my big thing
Like
is that
it's all about him type deal.
everyone is still just like just they won't talk about it. They won't talk about this as a thing. They'll talk about it with Lamar, right? Lamar can't win the big game.
Well, we know why that is.
I think that
Get out of here.
I think Lamar Jackson is
Fuck
six
outta
and
here.
one against Joe Burrow.
Something like that, yeah.
Like it's insane. Like they don't talk about these things that Joe Burrow doesn't win the big games. They'll talk about Josh Allen not winning the big game, which takes away the Lamar thing. I know I get what you were saying there, but like they'll do it with Josh Allen, but ESPN refuses to criticize Joe Burrow. And I don't. I will
I
criticize.
don't know why that. I really don't know why that is because they like Josh Allen's first 4 years in the league was just all criticism.
And I mean they'll criticize him now, when they have the team every year for not this year because their receivers are terrible, but last year, the year before that, the Bills are the best team in the AFC. They should make the Super Bowl. And then when they don't make it to the Super Bowl, they will blast Josh Allen.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
a lot of the times they should have been blasting McDermott, which we will talk about that more later as well.
yeah. He deserves it.
But yeah, I will agree. Zach Taylor is a doofus. But Joe Burrow has a history of starting off slow. Like even like the Bengals kind of have to go undefeated.
They're getting close to that
They're
point.
getting close to having to go undefeated.
They're getting close, yeah. Because if they this next week is definitely like you have to win that one.
I mean, and they're playing a good team in theory. No, sorry, that's the Ravens that are playing the Commanders. They're playing. I don't remember who.
Giants.
The Giants. All right,
Sunday
hold
night.
on. Are the Giants sneaky good?
No.
I think the Giants are some. It's hard.
I don't think they are either. All right. So that was questionable coaching number one, Zach Taylor. in overtime, 3 run plays. Your quarterback was on fire. Just throw the ball once or twice. Also, no one could guard Chase or T. Higgins that day. Like throwing the ball. Questionable coaching number 2 is the opposite of that. Sean McDermott, the game is 20-20. 32 seconds left or whatever it is. You're inside your own 5-yard line. At the time, your quarterback is 9 for 27.
He was 9 for 27.
Josh Allen's final stats was 9 for 30. His completion percentage was 30%.
I didn't realize that.
He was 9 for 27 and had been knocked unconscious during this football game.
That's the more
and you
important
decide
thing.
to throw the ball 3 times.
Dude was literally on the field knocked out.
Yeah, so what I got from this game is the concussion system really working?
No. He was
Like-
clearly knocked out.
Also,
they pick and choose when they want to use it.
so that really makes me think, are these doctors really like the neurologists, are they really independent? Like, because they just, but this just seemed like one that was an easy win for the NFL. He was clearly knocked unconscious.
Yeah, they just gave him smelling salt and said go back in.
Yeah, it was, this one was weird. Obviously, they won't let Tua back in because the hands.
Which he had. Josh Allen kind of had that too.
Watch that left arm.
Yeah,
that left arm goes limp.
Yeah. Well, it kind of like seized up like in a position that it wouldn't go nowhere.
Yeah. So
I was trying to see where McDermott was coming from, and I can kind of see it, but it was a bonehead move.
you got to run it at least once.
I think he was trying to say like, oh, they had 3 timeouts anyway, so they would stop the clock. But then in the end, they needed a 4th timeout basically if you run it 3 times.
Correct. So I agree. Go try to win the game. So first down, throw the ball. Sure. Even second
But
down,
you got to go
throw the ball.
60 yards in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Once it's 3rd and 10 on your 4-yard line, run the ball. Make them take a timeout. Because you don't know. You don't know if they're going to need that timeout or not. But you know that if you don't do it, they don't need it. Also, you got to give your punter some space too.
Yeah, right.
So he can kick it deep.
Yeah, because when they punted that ball, I honestly was thinking, oh, this might get blocked.
It might get blocked.
Or a bad snap.
Or he's only going to punt it, and they're going to start on the 47-yard line, so they only need 10 yards to get a makeable field goal.
Which is exactly what happened.
Which is not, it's like, that's still a difficult field goal.
It was 50 yards, wasn't it?
59-yard game winner.
But the point is, they gave him a chance. They didn't have to give him a chance, really.
Yeah. Kaimi Fairbairn is his name, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Now has 8 50-plus yard field goals already.
Yeah, he's
which
kind of a beast.
Nuts.
He scores a ton for my fantasy team. He had 16.
So we've talked about it before on this podcast. Sean McDermott is a doofus.
Yeah, he probably
should not be in the job. But as a Chiefs fan, I'll take it. The big thing that I also took away from this game, kind of like the Vikings offense came to a halt once Aaron Jones got hurt. When Nico Collins hurt his hamstring, the Texans offense did jack squat.
Yeah.
They looked really bad after that.
Is he going to be out for a while?
I mean, hamstrings are usually 4 to 8 weeks. And, sorry. They initially said it was just going to be day to day, and then the next day they came out and said it's week to week. So he'll be out. He won't play Sunday.
Yeah.
But also, I'm pretty sure the Texans played the Patriots. So I think that maybe they are.
The Texans still something doesn't sit quite right.
No, they're 4-1, but they're a really ugly 4-1.
Yeah, something just doesn't look quite like that. Just looks difficult for them. I don't know what it is.
The whole AFC, everything looks difficult, man. I don't know if it's because all the teams are like evenly matched, which makes it more interesting, or if just none of the teams are good. But man, yeah, the AFC it's rough.
Even the teams like the Texans that are 4-1, it's like I don't know that they're. I don't know what's up with them.
The Chiefs are 5-0 and only have looked good in one game, and they didn't look great. Like they ended up winning by 10, but it was close game throughout the whole thing. The the Texans are 4-1. They haven't looked great. The Ravens are 3-2 and haven't looked great or whatever. Obviously the Bengals are bad. The Bills are 2-3 or 3-2,
Three
one.
and two, I believe, right?
Like, I mean, but like they haven't looked amazing either.
No, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be interesting. There seems to be a little more parity in football these days.
Yeah, and that's why I like the NFL. I do love the any given Sunday mentality. I like that you go into the season and you think you know which teams are going to be at the top of the mountain, but like it's more of a surprise. Well, in college football, you might get, hey, we know it's going to be the national champion's going to be Georgia or Alabama this year. Like there's definitely been way too many years where it's like it's going to be one of these two teams. We just got to
Yeah,
figure out who it is. But
No.
they're both awesome. I love them both.
they're good for different reasons.
Hmm.
I feel like college football is more about the journey to the national championship. Now, if you win one, obviously you're gonna love that, but it's almost like the journey to it. The NFL, the NFL is just like a more perfect football product.
That's fair. I also do. I will say I've been thinking about this because we were discussing it on our group chat. Um, I think that the NFL playoffs dominate college football postseason, and it's not close. NFL
It,
playoff games are on a just
Well,
different
it
level.
will, it
it,
will, but it'll be interesting the first year for sure. Like, are we gonna get close games out of this, or are we gonna have a bunch of blowouts?
I still
well,
think that I think the close games are different though, because the players and everyone will tell you there is a different level to like the professional football playoffs. The refs let things go more. It's way more physical. Like it's just
Oh, and
like
I think the fact that it's one we're used to like so many professional sports are series where it's like not the intensity of one game. The NFL you
yeah,
get one game.
I think it's the best football product like for a singular game for sure.
I would agree with that.
Not necessarily the Super Bowl, but just like it's yeah, I mean just the stuff you'll see in the playoffs is just you see a lot of good football.
I just think full season wise.
No. I was talking specifically the playoffs. Like
No, I know, I know. I
how many
think full
times in
season
college
wise,
football has it just been
you
a
can't
blowout in
compete
the
with college
championship?
football.
I don't think you can compete with the pageantry of college football.
Yeah,
Nothing can.
college is more of an event. Like it's not
Yeah, it's more
all
of an
just
event,
football.
and to me, it's there's way more passion just because. I mean, like yes, the NFL has super fans, but like
It's more corporate though. It is more corporate.
it's
It's
very
more
more
corporate.
corporate. Where you're talking like you have, I mean, die hard fan, and there's more of them, right?
I
Because
mean,
like
yeah, you don't get the drunk college students.
you don't get the drunk college students,
You
but like
don't get.
every year you're making what like I know a lot of guys that I hang out with, they'll watch their college team. They don't care at all about NFL. Like they just don't. Like they're de facto like, oh, I'm a Cowboys fan, and then you ask them if they like watch the game, they're like, I don't actually watch the NFL games, but they watch Texas Tech every weekend. They watch A&M every weekend. They like because they're dedicated to that one school,
I
but
mean,
they're
yeah,
not. They didn't get raised.
good for
They didn't
them.
get raised like us, where
Get
we're
dedicated to
watching
your
the NFL.
NFL team. Like it's not that hard.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but there's a whole
Oh,
huge
Bedard is such a beast.
sector of the population who just was not raised to dedicate to a NFL team.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean, but
They're different products. It's like two different sports.
yeah, they're
Oh, 100%. I think college football is just a different world than any other sport on the planet.
yeah, but then just like then you have the flip side, right? Like okay, like college football, the biggest trophy is the Heisman Trophy, and Gianti or whatever from Boise State, obviously, as we talked about yesterday, should be in the front running. He's currently the front runner for the Heisman. But you watch, it looks like he's playing against high school guys who just can't tackle. So it's like, is this guy going to win the most prestigious award because he played Utah State, who doesn't know how to tackle?
I
And
mean, he
college.
also had 180 yards against Oregon.
The other
Like,
No, no, no.
argument,
But I mean, I'm just saying, okay, pick a different crappy football game with
no, yeah,
crappy football teams where there's so many. Watch the Mississippi State game, who's an SEC team. Like there's
I
just so
get
much
you.
bad football in college football. It's so exciting because you get
If,
all the points and you
if
get all
there
the
were
back and forth.
if there were 130 games in the NFL every week, you would
Yeah,
have the same situation.
and that's one of the things I think it's a pro and a con for college football. The pro, because there are so many teams, you do get so many more rivalries, and so that makes those games more exciting. But you just also get just so much terrible football.
let's say this: if you only watched a single team, like when I sit down for college football Saturday, I am watching every single game. Like my
Yeah,
team may not even be on my main TV if we're playing
True.
some crappy opponent. But if you just watch your single team, college football would not be near as exciting because there's so many games where it's just like this is just dumb. Why are we even playing this?
like
Whereas, but the product as a whole, because there's so many games, you're gonna get 6 games that are awesome.
correct.
Some
Yeah,
crazy
I mean
stuff is gonna happen.
it's great. I mean, college football is
They're just
amazing.
different. They're totally
I
different
think they are
products.
totally different and they are hard to compare. Everyone's got their ones that they choose. I do think also, like Jonathan was saying, like you got the ability to like go to that school, and so
You're
then
a
that's
part of
gonna
it. You're like a
you're a
part of
part
Yeah,
of
it.
there's some
yeah, but
person.
then at the same time of it, right? Like this is obviously it's a socioeconomic thing with as well, but like my family was season ticket holders for the Chiefs for 60 years.
Yeah, you're a
So
part
like
of that.
it's a part of it. Like you can definitely be a part of a professional football team as well. But it does, you're going to, because there are less teams, it's harder to do that. Also, because it costs more money. But I actually don't know. Those big schools, it costs a lot of money to go to an A&M football game. I guarantee you the most expensive ticket for an A&M football game is more expensive than the most expensive ticket at any professional football
Oh,
game
it is.
this year.
They were doing a comparison. The Super Bowl rematch was like the get-in price is like $300. That Texas and A&M game is 900 something dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, but because college football is more local, it's way easier to just be like born and raised as a blah 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 fan because I went to school there, so now I'm gonna raise my kids to be that fan. And then a lot of times kids go to the same school as their parents and it just like continues. But
It's a never ending
it's
cycle.
harder to do that in college football because there are not 132 cities that you play football in. There are 32 cities that you play football in. So
Actually, Austin, you made an interesting point there on this economical side of things.
yeah, dude, I've thought about all these things a lot.
I
I could talk about this all day.
like it just be I've never thought about it in this sense, but like just out of like the people I know, right? Like if I took a poll, the lower income
Yep.
is more of a well,
I mean, no, it's I mean, that's a
I actually think like I would actually venture the guys that I know that care about the NFL more than they care about their colleges are the guys that couldn't go to college.
yeah, that makes
Like they
sense.
like even if they had the grades, like they weren't economically able to go to a Texas or
Yeah.
A&M or UNT, even UNT or whatnot. Like they just didn't go to college. So now they're just diehard Saints, diehard
Yeah,
Bills, like
or your people
or
that like
vice
went
versa.
to Mary Hardin Baylor or something like that,
Yeah.
like to a small school where football is not a thing. Well, sorry, it is a
Yeah,
thing.
I was about to say Mary
Sorry, I
Hardin
just
Baylor.
meant it's very hard to watch Mary Hardin Baylor on Saturday,
Correct.
like
So
on
you
TV.
just go with the team closest to you, or you
Yeah.
got
Well, think it's regional too. Like the Northeast, like Northeast doesn't care about college football.
that's true. They care
Yeah.
about the
They care
NFL
about
a
the
lot.
NFL like they care about the college football. They like the Philadelphia Eagle fans treat it like it's like college in the South.
And in the South, specifically in quite a few states of the South, they don't have
So college
They
football
don't have
team.
an NFL team. They
Yeah,
have,
if you ask folks in Alabama about the NFL, they'll literally be like, "What?"
but
Yeah,
I
good
guarantee
point.
you, if there was an expansion team that took place in Alabama, they would get into it.
I don't know. I
They
think it would
would
be like
if
So
that team was good.
I think it would be like Austin, though. I think Austin would struggle to support an NFL team
Not if
because
they were good.
I
Texas.
don't. I
Not if
don't
they were
think that at
good.
all.
Well,
I mean,
I
look
I've
at
think
never,
Austin
I've
FC.
never
Austin
seen
FC
a.
is great support.
Austin 15 years ago would struggle to support an NFL team. Maybe it's changed a little bit now because there's so many transplants. I think Alabama. I don't think they could do it. If you put a team in Birmingham, I don't think it would survive.
I bet if they were good, they would. I bet.
I don't know if they
I
would.
I don't know. I think the blood. I think
People just love Alabama. They love college.
Alabama football
I'm
is
not saying
their
that they're going to
world.
overtake Alabama,
No, yeah.
but now you're just going to party on Saturday and Sunday and watch all your teams dominate.
Yeah, I think it's a.
I mean, me personally, I would. That'd be me.
You're not going to be able to overcome hundreds of years of
Of
tradition.
tradition, yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of complacent folks. I mean, I think people are complacent about NFL anyways a lot of times, but more so than college. But
Man, is there nowhere where there's a good college football team and professional football team in the same city?
no, it's all your big cities.
Yeah, the Jets and Giants haven't been good in forever, and they don't have a good college football team.
I mean, Oregon was good, but Eugene's a hour or so outside of Seattle.
Yeah, and I mean Seattle's only. I mean, yeah,
Like when
but that's.
Seattle was
I mean,
winning,
that's good. Like that's a good point though. Like Seattle's fan base is supposed to be. They're one of the most intense fan bases in professional football.
and they have a good
Oregon was
college.
decent for forever. Like, I mean,
It would have to be LA. LA would have to be the city. It would be Miami or LA.
Yeah, but
yeah,
LA, their college football team don't actually support their
Oh,
teams.
I know. Yeah,
and they don't support their professional teams
yeah.
either.
They don't support any teams.
I mean,
But
even USC. Remember that game the other night or a couple weeks ago when we were all texting? We were like, USC's empty. The whole upper deck in the stadium's empty.
Yeah, they're the bad sports town there in LA.
well, yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. But I will say I do think also like it's really easy for people who like don't support college or sorry, didn't go to a college or are on the lower side of that economic spectrum. It's really, really easy for them to join into college football over professional football because they can find something that is local and just
Also, you can watch it on TV.
be a part of it. Also, yeah, we mentioned this as well. College football is not behind a paywall like professional football is.
Yet.
If you want to watch your team
You
for
can use
every
it
game, it's hundreds of dollars.
for the NFL.
I mean, I
NFL.
couldn't get freaking I couldn't get the A&M game when it wasn't on regular TV.
That's one game a year though, where they're playing a
Yeah.
trash opponent.
So
I can never watch the Cowboys if they play at the same time as the Falcons.
Yeah, that's true.
so yeah, there's lots of reasons, but they both have their pros. If especially if they both do what they did last weekend and just continue that, this will be the greatest football season ever.
Yeah, that was awesome weekend.
That was just a perfect weekend. I hope when we are in Shreveport that it is the exact same. That would just be
Yeah.
so fun. It'd be
Heck
just a
yeah.
day
Wild.
of chaos. It'd be great. All right. That was a good 20 minutes on football, but that's like football theology right there. That's why
Yeah,
y'all
that was
tune in
deep. That was a
to the
deep
Football Esteem
conversation.
podcast. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go pure surface level on a bunch of football games. The Panthers still suck. The Bears are starting to improve. Caleb Williams is beginning to look like a number one pick.
He looked pretty good. I know it's the Panthers, but he looked pretty good.
He looks good.
Okay, I do kind of have a deep takeaway from this game as well, though. So here we can talk about it quickly, though. The Panthers are notorious for when their team sucks, they trade away their best players. So what team is going to trade for Chuba Hubbard? Would it be who's more likely? The Cowboys, the Giants, or the Vikings?
Cowboys don't make trades or sign free agents.
That is true, but the Jerry Jones did say they're going all in. So maybe he just was fooling teams They're not going to go all in during free agency. They're going to go all in trade deadline.
Wild card for you.
He's landing helicopters on the practice field. He's going for it.
All in is not very all in for him.
Wild card for you. The Raiders trade Devontae Adams to Carolina. We get Bryce Young.
Well, that's never happened. That's fan fiction. That's never
also
happened.
Yeah, no team is trading a quarterback and running back for a wide receiver.
Maybe. I don't know.
You'd have to have some pick.
All the time.
There's got to be picks compensation in there. But I just picked those three teams because I think they're three teams that desperately need a running back. Dallas can't run the ball for crap.
Nope.
New York lost their starting running back. I don't know how long he's out injured, but Chuba Hubbard, right? They lost Saquon last year, so they need a good number one running back. Devin Singletary is not really the guy, in my opinion. And the Giants' offense has kind of looked decent as of late, so Chuba Hubbard could help. And then the Vikings lost Aaron Jones. I don't actually know how long he's out injured, but if it's long term.
Yeah, they said today's week to week.
Okay, well. And the Chiefs can't afford him because we've already got 5 running backs and we can't take it. So there you go. That's something to look forward. Is Chuba Hubbard going to be on the trade block? All right. Speaking of other good rookie quarterbacks, Browns got destroyed by the Commanders. The question for this game: have the Commanders actually beat anybody good yet?
No, but they look.
No, but he's good.
Yeah, they look good, but they also haven't played anybody good, and so this is the week we're going to find out because they play the Ravens, and I believe it's in Baltimore.
Yes, it is.
But the crazy thing is, I don't think that the Commanders have to get on a plane for a football game until week 15.
What?
They play because hold on, I got it right here. I think it was the Commanders because they can drive from Washington to Baltimore. Then first Carolina is not that far. Would they actually fly? Maybe not.
That's at home.
Oh, sorry, that's at home. Bears at home.
So it's the Giants.
The Giants fly from Washington to New York. Then Pittsburgh at home. Philly probably fly.
Yeah, I mean you're getting close. They're staying up in the Northeast until week 15.
They're staying up in the Northeast until they go to the Saints.
New Orleans, yeah.
In December.
That's actually crazy.
That's a huge thing. If players get to stay at their house and sleep in their own beds and stay with their wives and their girlfriends and baby mamas and family and kids, that's a huge advantage.
The entire season, the only time they end up for the rest of the season, the only time they're outside of the Northeast is literally New Orleans and Dallas.
New Orleans and Dallas. I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy in the NFL.
And then you look at the other side, there's teams that had to travel like 7,000 miles this year or whatever. It's like,
yeah, every California team.
The Commanders have been blessed. I don't think they've really played anybody good. I think this is the week where we look. Also, the Ravens run a very unique defensive strategy. So we're going to test the brain of Jaden Daniels this week as well.
I think he's going to be okay.
I think he'll be okay. No, I think he's very good. I'm just saying everyone's talking about like the Commanders are possibly the team that's going to win the NFC East. And we might learn that might not be true this week. Maybe.
Yeah,
it's possible.
We'll learn something.
The other thing we need to figure out is who is in charge of the Cleveland Browns that's keeping Deshaun Watson on the football field.
That's got to be the GM or an owner.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Dude, the walk off is crazy.
Okay, that is fake news though.
That is fake news.
They got all fake news. There was 12 guys in the huddle, so he couldn't get in the huddle.
I saw that too. It was fake news.
But it's bad optically. Yeah, so the quarterback.
I think he was ticked because there was 12 men in the huddle.
Yeah, and he was ticked because it had already happened in the game. The quarterback always is the last person in the huddle, and one of his jobs is to count how many people. And if there's already 11, he can't go in. And so he just started to walk off the field in anger, which is not a good look. I will still say bad look. But also, maybe Kevin Stefanski should have never won Coach of the Year because he's not a good coach.
No, I think Stefanski's a good coach. I think he's stuck. I think he's literally stuck.
I think he's not a great coach though.
He made it to the playoffs with Joe Flacco.
Have you seen Joe Flacco?
Oh, I agree.
Joe
But he made it to
Flacco
Joe
is
Flacco.
the best quarterback in Indianapolis as well.
I think Stefanski is getting told that Deshaun Watson's playing whatever, no matter what.
Dude, something's happened. I don't know if Deshaun somehow has control of like if it's in his contract. That's the thing. Is there like a snap count in his guaranteed contracts thing? Like something's fishy.
I think you got to cut bait and just deal with the consequences.
Oh, that's a lot of dead cap. If you cut him, that's a lot of dead cap.
But you're not doing anything with him, so it's a hit regardless.
I mean, the worst thing for the Browns is that they're going to end up being the old Browns,
Yeah,
but
they are.
the Panthers are even worse, so they're not even going to get the number one pick.
No, yeah, they're not. There's no good quarterbacks coming out, anyways.
Oof, that's crazy. It's very possible the Browns tank for 2 consecutive years for Arch.
That's possible, yeah.
And then we're gonna go through the whole thing is the Manning clan gonna actually let him go to Cleveland? That'll be a fun off season.
That would be wild.
First take will be going crazy on that one.
All right, let's talk about other ugly football games. The Dolphins Patriots game.
Ugh.
I don't know if anyone actually was willing to watch it, but somehow the Dolphins are still in the hunt to win the AFC East.
No, that will be over this week.
No, they have their bye week,
Oh, next week.
and then Tua comes back.
Do you think he's actually going to come back?
Sorry, Tua is eligible to come back after the bye week. I
Yeah.
mean, if they're only a game behind and Tua comes back, like anything could happen. I don't think Tua should come back,
No.
but that's not my place to say.
Tua needs to retire.
The big thing from this game is that it actually happened after the game, but Drake May is now the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots, and I feel so bad for him.
He's going to get murdered.
He's going to get murdered, and he's going to get labeled a bust, and
Yep.
I do think that Drake May would have been a bust in the NFL. I don't think he golly. I don't think he's going to get a fair shot.
No, he's going to get killed this week. He's going to get killed next week. He's going to get killed every week. It's going to be ugly. The Patriots are terrible.
Patriots are very bad. And then like Gerard Mayo is kind of just not coaching. They're like playing wiffle ball at practice. Like he's just a player's coach, but like we need a little bit of coaching going on.
Oh, yeah, the Patriots are dead.
Patriots are dead. You know who's not dead? The Jacksonville Jaguars. They won a game. Who is dead? The Indianapolis Colts cannot play in Jacksonville. That makes it 11 straight years that they've lost in Jacksonville. I had Jags money line. I think they were up like 17-0. I felt great, and then this game got way too close. But they pulled through. So good for the Jaguars.
Flacco almost threw for 400 yards.
Flacco is pretty good. Also, he had that awesome run play, which was cool.
That's another great game, though.
The Jags have pretty decent offensive weapons. Like, I like Travis Etienne. I think he's a good running back. Brian Thomas is a really good wide receiver. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is all right. He's got problems.
I think Peterson is gone.
Peterson looks real bad as a head coach.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. You know who else should be gone? The first people that we're talking about in our 3 p.m. games. Is it time for Anthony Pierce to go away? Because the Raiders are. The Raiders have officially entered blow it up mode.
Fire everybody.
Got to keep Max Crosby. The dude is a gem.
Oh, I do like what he said this week when they asked him about the whole Devontae Adams thing, and someone finally asked him, like, do you want to be here? And he said, I have it tattooed on me. And then he's, of course, shirtless because he does all his interviews with no shirt on. And he showed, like, this whole huge Raider tattoo. And he was like, this is the only place I want to be. I'm not going anywhere.
Also, rip The locker room interviews are over. What a bummer.
I kind of think it's weird that we interview them naked, anyways.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's a little strange.
I think it should. I'm fine with locker room interviews. That way, everyone gets interviewed.
Deshaun Watson's like
There needs
favorite
to be
time of the game.
longer. It needs to be more than 15 minutes in between when the game ends. Let everyone get fully dressed first.
Yeah, but
What are
the
we
sports
doing?
writers think they're like the most persecuted group of people on the planet, so they act like it's like a big travesty that they
Yeah,
might have to give them a little extra time.
and like some of them do act like buttholes when they get in there, but also sometimes the players act like buttholes when they're interviewed. Like sometimes the interviewers, like I hate the stupid sideline report. Let's go ask the coach, what do you need to do better?
It's like it's such a
It's
super.
dumb. We need to score more points than the other team. That's what we need to do better.
We could
Like,
eliminate that. We could eliminate that position from sports because it's the same answer every single time.
and a lot of the questions that the reporters ask in the locker room are those level of questions. So I get why the players tear them a new one. But every once in a while, reporters would ask a very good question that, like, as a fan, I'm like, oh, I would love to actually like get like a great answer from someone who like has better football knowledge than I do, which is rare. There's not very many people out here that have more football knowledge than we do. And then the players just give them like a short, terrible answer, which sucks. So that's gonna be a bummer that we're gonna lose so many iconic moments. I will say Max Crosby yelling at Bo Nix during an audible was hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Very good. Max Crosby is a gem.
He's Jim.
Also,
That's the only person I'm willing to trade anyone on that team. Well, no, not anyone. I want to keep Brock Bowers just for the remainder of time.
yeah, I wouldn't trade Christian Wilkins either, but
No, but I mean, if we're blowing
whatever.
it up, we're
Yeah.
blowing it up.
Also, I have officially decided the Broncos should not be allowed to wear other jerseys. It's their best jersey. Why did we change? What are we doing?
Some of the jerseys, I hated.
Same with the Jaguars.
Houston's jerseys were I thought I turned on the Canadian Football League.
it looked like an XFL team.
They did. Also, the logo on the middle of the
It was
field
so
looked
bad.
terrible.
XFL Canadian football, like I thought I turned on the wrong game.
We've talked about this. Don't do color rush, NFL. Color rush is bad unless it's all white. All white looks good.
Yeah, those jerseys were atrocious.
Those jerseys were bad. You know who else was bad? San Francisco 49ers, who
They might be dead.
they might be a bad football team.
Yeah, they have a lot of. They definitely have a lot of injuries. but-
Preseason Super Bowl favorites. They don't have that many injuries anymore.
Well, I mean, Debo's still out. Is Ayuk still out?
No, Ayuk had like 150 yards.
Did he? I wasn't even paying attention to that
It's
game.
basically just Debo and McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's a big one.
I agree, but they should still be able to beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals are the most frustrating team every year. They're like the team that you can't bet on or against because are they good? Are they bad? You never know what you're going to get.
They're another team that I just don't care to watch ever.
I don't either. But the big thing that I've seen from this year, the Brock Purdy is an elite quarterback crowd has gone awfully silent this year.
Yeah,
It's almost like he's not that good, and he was good when all of his weapons are there.
He's
he does.
struggling.
He needs McCaffrey because they need to run the ball.
But they're running the ball still fine.
Yeah, McCaffrey does something a little different because the
I
other
agree.
thing is McCaffrey's so active in the pass game too.
Mm-hmm. But like, if they had a better, if Brock Purdy was who people say Brock Purdy is, even without McCaffrey, that offense should be great.
Should
And
be.
it's not.
Yes,
So,
they don't look
there's
good.
that. All right. Packers, Rams. Jordan Love threw a funny pick six. That was about it from this
Yeah, he
game.
went full Will Levis on that one.
Went full Will Levis was great. I think the Rams are kind of in the same boat with the Cardinals. They're a team you don't want to bet for or against because you never know what you're going to get.
Also,
was-
a bad football team.
Yeah. They're also injured to all get out.
Yeah.
And finally the Giants and Seahawks played, and the Seahawks are really injured, and so they kind of suck right now. They can't block and they can't defend. Their defensive line is trash. But I can't believe that this did not get more talked about. The Giants win that game by cheating. That blocked field goal is illegal. And how did the refs miss it?
I thought the
Is
same
that
thing.
the
I thought
line?
he couldn't leap over him,
He jumped the line, and the other two guys held the center
push him down.
down, which is
Yeah.
a 15-yard penalty. I don't get how they missed that.
I thought the same thing, but then I thought maybe that was just a college rule because I was like, that was pretty obvious. But both guys on the line definitely just pulled him down.
Yeah, it was bad. So I don't know, but the Giants have played better the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is he's giving you a little bit more where it's like, okay, maybe this is why they got stuck paying him $40 million a year.
Yeah, I don't know where I saw last week that he was getting benched. We talked about that. That was fake news apparently. Because he played and played pretty well and got a win. They go this week and play somebody. They play the Bengals. So I mean, there's another.
That may be like a loser is dead
That's on Sunday Night Football. That might be the worst game of all time.
for Sunday Night Football. Yes,
That game has written all over it. Giants win in a very ugly football game, or the Bengals win 42-7. Though there's not going to be any in between.
I'm seeing 42-7.
I think so. Yeah, the Bengals offense is rolling right now. I don't know who's going to stop them, but I mean, Daniel Jones and they figured out an offensive scheme that has worked the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is good for that every once in a while. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right. That'll do it. We'll see y'all next week. It's going to be hopefully another great weekend of professional football and college football. Hopefully we have more chaos and craziness.
I'm here for the chaos on a bye week.
I know that we will still have 2 undefeated teams going into the next weekend because the Vikings and Chiefs both have a bye week this week. Be careful out there. Gamble responsibly. And we'll see y'all next time.